What's up, man? What's happening? What's happening? It is up. It's up. We might as well get right into it. There's a lot going on tonight, man. A lot going on tonight. Got a great show for you guys. Great show for you guys. Got a great show for you guys.
Continue to unfold to this. Over the past few years, there have been numerous cases of young black men being lured out to small remote towns across America, with many of these victims ending up deceased or are simply never seen again. But despite the harrowing evidence that continues to stack up each year, the idea of sundown towns in modern-day America has become somewhat of a myth, with many people believing these towns to be nothing more than a dark period of our history. However, if you just spend a few minutes in the comments section of my videos, you will quickly begin to see that many people of color would beg to differ, as stories of sundown towns are not only real, but continue to unfold to this day. Now, if you are familiar with my channel, then you will likely be aware of my running series where I take a deeper look into these cases in an attempt to try and spread awareness. But during my research, a concerning pattern has started to emerge, which seems to link all of these cases together, and therefore, I can't help but feel that the subject of sundown towns deserves its own video. So rather than focusing on just one case, please brace yourself as I attempt to delve into the murky waters of this incredibly controversial topic, starting with the suspicious disappearance of Devonte Morgan. On Wednesday the 5th of May in 2020, A 28-year-old man named Devontae Morgan had travelled up to the small town of Mount Shasta for a family birthday party, but after getting into a heated argument with his girlfriend that morning, Devontae would storm out of the motel, never to be seen or heard from again. He was reported missing 2 days later after he failed to return home, but police noticed a distinct lack of emotion in his girlfriend's voice, and they were left alarmed after finding out that Devontae's phone was broken, and therefore there was no way of tracking his whereabouts. However, after almost a week of investigating, the police were finally able to uncover some surveillance footage of Devontae from the day he disappeared, which showed him walking into a gas station alone. But despite conducting numerous searches of the area and knocking on every single door, no further leads would be uncovered, eventually leading the case to turn cold. And given the lack of witnesses, Devontae's family began to feel like something wasn't right with this town. According to them, locals would be seen tearing down the missing person posters and showed no interest in helping the family find their loved one. So at the time, it seemed like there was nowhere else to turn. However, around 2 months after his
Locals showed no interest in helping the family find the victim, find out what happened. Doesn't that sound exactly like Blakistan? Press 1. What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
But despite conducting numerous searches of the area and knocking on every single door, no further leads would be uncovered, eventually leading the case to turn cold. And given the lack of witnesses, Devontae's family began to feel like something wasn't right with this town. According to them, locals would be seen tearing down the missing person posters and showed no interest in helping the family find their loved one. So at the time, it seemed like there was nowhere else to turn. However, around 2 months after his disappearance, a witness would finally come forward after bumping into Devontae's brother Anthony, who would reveal that he had seen the missing young man climbing into a white truck, and rumors began to spread that he had been taken to the Shasta River to be disposed of. But despite these bold claims, the local police were unable to find any evidence to back them up. So once again, the case would turn cold, with Devontae unfortunately remaining a missing person to this day. However, as disturbing as this story may seem, this is certainly not the first time a man has been lured out by a woman to a small town, shortly before disappearing, as demonstrated by this next case. On Thursday the 28th of December, a 28-year-old rapper from Oregon named Ticarius Ray was last seen driving his pickup truck through the town of Roseburg when he would mysteriously disappear. 2 days later, his white Dodge Durango was found abandoned on the side of a highway just outside of town and was swiftly towed away by the police. However, after inspecting the vehicle, a cell phone was then discovered on the passenger seat that belonged to Ticarius, so unfortunately they were unable to get in touch with the young man and instead held on to the evidence. A week then went by with Ticarius still failing to inquire about his truck. But given his troubled history with the law, it was initially assumed by the police that he was purposely choosing not to get in touch. However, in an instant, everything would change when the Roseburg Police Department received a call from his family, claiming that they hadn't heard from or seen the 28-year-old in 10 days, and they were rightfully concerned for his safety. So, given these details, an official missing person report was then filed, and his image was plastered across the news and social media in the hopes that somebody would recognize his face. But unfortunately, after 8 months of searching, it would seem that Ticarius Ray is still nowhere to be found, with the most popular theory stating that he was lured out to Roseburg by his girlfriend, who had nefarious intentions. But unfortunately, this pattern of young black men being lured out to small towns just a few days before they go missing is something which has repeated itself multiple times across the Northwest. But unlike with these first two cases, it's not always a woman who does the luring. On Monday the 7th of August earlier this year, a 33-year-old musician from California named Corey Danieli would suddenly disappear after getting into a fight with one of his friends before supposedly storming off into the night, never to be seen again. To this day, his whereabouts are still unknown, but the Fresno Police Department, along with Corey's family, strongly believe that the missing man is likely deceased due to the suspicious circumstances that surround his case. and with key suspects like Zach Stiles, who was the last person to see Corey alive after inviting him out to the small town of Kerman, and has since mysteriously relocated to Hawaii, it's no surprise that they have come to this conclusion. However, despite the rising stack of evidence that seems to point in the direction of murder, after almost 1 year of investigation, the police are still yet to reveal what really happened to Corey Danieli that night, which has understandably left the public questioning whether there could be some kind of cover-up going on, which unfortunately seems to be a recurring...
And this dude, he probably making a bunch of money selling these stories to black folk. He probably making a shit ton of money. 114,000, 1,400. Black truckers have to be extra careful. Would you say the majority of Sun people are hardworking and law abiding? Shout out to you, Mike Adams. Are you related to Scott? Yeah, I would say so. I would say the majority. Like the majority is 51%, right? Yeah, yeah. Um, this dude said, I'm in my 40s now. I grew up in Omaha, Nebraska during the 80s and the 90s. As a teen, I was very rebellious and would do what I wanted to do. I used to break my curfew a lot, and at times, wouldn't go home for days at a time. There were no cell phones at the time like they are now, so my family couldn't reach me other than to try calling my friend's house phone to see if I was there or if anyone had heard from me. Yeah, I mean, this is this guy says kind of tangential, but I fired a guy last week because I saw a Klan ID card in his wallet at lunch. Thought it was a fake ID, and I asked him about it because he was about 28. He just pulls it right out and showed it to me like he assumed I'd be completely fine with that. Told him to remain clocked out indefinitely. And saying that's even a thing. Yeah, man, the Klan, man. We all worried about the Klan, man. That damn pesky ass Klan. Black men, you have to stay alert and get a gun. You are being hunted. I think the police have a lot to do with these disappearances. People swear up and down these towns don't exist. People swear up and down these towns don't exist, man. These towns be existing, man. These towns be existing and stuff, man. These towns be existing, y'all. I made a wrong turn in Kentucky, and this nice old couple told me that is a sundown town, and I better leave now. As a black truck driver, I can guarantee it's real. When they say sundown towns, they basically mean a town where one black person, where a black person, are they talking about a town with no crime, very little crime, a very safe town where some black dude may have died, and it isn't obvious why he died. That's what they mean when they say sundown town. That's the definition of a sundown town. A black person died there, man, and it's mostly white. And it wasn't one of us that did it. If it was one of us that did it, it wouldn't matter. But if it wasn't one of us, man, it's a sundown town, man. I don't believe none of this shit, man. I don't believe none of this.
Theme across these cases, as with many small towns, you will usually find that they also possess a very small police department, meaning resources are almost always stretched, so with little evidence to go off, it's no surprise that many of these cases go unsolved. However, in some circumstances, there can be an abundance of suspicious evidence to go off, but somehow the police still fail to find a conclusion, and in some cases, even refuse to admit the involvement of foul play. On the 9th of July in 2013, a 24-year-old model named Ryan Singleton was driving his car through the Mojave Desert on his way back to LA to see his friend after spending the day in Vegas, when his car would suddenly break down. A passing highway patrol officer noticed Ryan walking along the side of the road and offered to drive him to the nearby town of Baker to get further assistance. And upon arrival, he then called one of his friends for help and agreed to meet them at the rest stop. But in a strange twist of fate, once the friend arrived to pick him up, Ryan had mysteriously disappeared. A missing person report was filed the very next day, but there would be no real updates in the case until 2 months later, when his decomposing remains were finally discovered in the middle of the desert. Initially, it was assumed that this was just a tragic accident. However, when the coroner's report came back a few weeks later, it was soon revealed that Ryan's body was missing at least 6 of its organs. However, 10 years on, the local police still refused to believe that foul play was involved, leaving his family understandably furious and desperate for justice. Which, once again, is a very common theme shared across all of these stories, as families desperately hold on to the idea of closure. But unlike the other cases that I've mentioned so far, these men aren't always lured out to remote towns by people they know. On Thursday the 9th of May earlier this year, a 35-year-old father named Sean Riley was supposed to be on a remote work trip in the city of Kelso, Washington, when he would mysteriously disappear. A few days after arriving, he would accidentally call his wife Mary in the early hours of the morning, to which he could only hear muffled sounds for 3 minutes before eventually deciding to hang up the phone. However, concerned by the strange phone call, she immediately called him back in the hopes that he would pick up and explain the situation. But to her confusion, after answering the phone, Sean would continue to make muffled sounds before a voice could be heard clearly stating, "Go this way, go this way." Mary then hung up again after failing to get her husband's attention and called the hotel he was staying at to ask if they could conduct a wellness check at 3 a.m. But once again, she was left puzzled when the hotel staff confirmed that his hotel room was unlocked and Sean was nowhere to be seen. So after her confusion quickly escalated to fear, Mary then called the local police to report the incident, and soon after accessing the security footage at the hotel, they discovered that Sean could be seen leaving the hotel alone, looking like he was in an extreme amount of distress. So in response to this troubling news, Mary and the rest of the family instinctively traveled all the way up from Long Beach, California, to look for Sean themselves and to help spread awareness of his case. However, after 1 week of searching, His body was eventually discovered in the Cowie-Man River near Manasco Drive, which was located just a short distance from the Comfort Inn hotel he was staying at, with many believing it wouldn't be long before the guilty suspect was found. But to everybody's surprise, after 3 months of investigating, the case still remains unsolved, leaving Shun's family heartbroken and confused as they try to understand what could have happened to their loved one and why.
Oh. Oh my God, man. Are you serious, man? Come on, guys, man. Hey, though, that's a good hustle for this white dude, whoever made this video, man. It's a good hustle, man. I ain't gonna knock the hustle, man. I definitely ain't gonna knock the hustle.
There will be violence and profanity in this documentary. Parental discretion is advised. This is a documentary about real people and real events. Many of the voices you're about to hear belong to young people who will talk about crimes they have committed. For some of them, there have been multiple arrests and multiple convictions. Over the past 9 months, we asked them to show us how they live their lives. They agreed to cooperate and were aware that their voices and actions were being filmed and recorded for inclusion in this documentary. We sought out these young offenders to better understand why youth crime has increased so dramatically. We also sought to understand why the largest part of this crime increase was urban and lower class. Names have been withheld to protect our subjects. This program has been recommended by the National Education Association.
I've been hanging out on the street since I was 11. When I started hanging out at 11, I knew what to do when I was 12.
The street is a place where you become a man. The street to make you a man, if anything. 27th Street and 8th Avenue, right? We hustle to stay alive.
Like, when you got money, you got a lot of people with you. Ain't got money, ain't nobody with you.
You got that money, you know, people look and give you that respect. You strong, man. You got that power, man. Can't nobody tell you nothing.
Yeah, a bunch of jive turkeys, man. We supposed to believe, man, back in the 70s, man, we was doing, man, this before crack, man. We was doing this, that, and the third, man. Black power, man. We was all community, man.
Shocking, shooting at each other. I like danger, because it means real. When you're on the street, you cannot have a conscience. When it's dark, on the cover of darkness, you dig, everybody's a king. After all the fun and all of, the money and all the excitement is over, you ain't got nothing but pain. I've never lived home, you could say, even till today. I really had nobody to bring me up, so I used to stay on the roof with the birds. I used to sleep inside the coop. I used to sleep with them. And summertimes, I would sleep on the roof, in the hall, and stuff like that. But that's all I had, the birds. You feel like they perform for you. You're the boss. You're in control. Outside, you feel like nothing. You have nothing going for yourself. Up here, you got, the pigeons, and you control them. Like, you feel like a general. You feel like somebody. Out in the street, you feel like nothing. I've seen so many things, like the cops, they hit on us. What, you think, you think by just hitting on us that we're going to change, or we get, no way. It just get worse. Don't you see we've been getting hit ever since we were born? You think we're going to stop like that? No way. No way. Just grew up with hatred. My father always hitting us, hitting me all the time. He almost killed me. He just kept on hitting me. Lucky for my mother, I think he would have killed me. I was about 14 at the time. And I got away. Somehow I slipped away. I got away. And I got away, and I just ran straight from my house. Just ran all the way to the other side of the neighborhood, and I seen a Jewish boy. And I took a baseball bat and I cracked his head. Just cracked him over the head.
Did you feel better after that?
Yeah, it felt real good. Real good.
Damn. God damn, on Burrito, man. Why'd you do that, man?
Real good. And from there on, I started breaking a lot of heads. I was breaking everybody's head. I mean, when we used to get in gangs, that's all I did. We grabbed a group of guys, break their heads. Break all their heads. You crack their heads. I used to get a thrill. I used to love it. Get a thrill out of it, breaking heads. You see all that blood and all that stuff. Hit it with a fork over the head. Bicycle fork, anything. Like certain guys like to stab. I like to break heads. Any bad thing you can think of, I've done. Ripping people off, mugging people. I got into that. Burglarizing the stores out here. Oh, forget it. I tell you right now, I alone have cost this city tens of thousands of dollars. Vandalizing, ripping the schools off, hacksawing the parking meters. I tell you, I cost the city a lot of money. You son of a bitch, you're the one, right? Like I'm always out in the street. All summer, for about 3 or 4 summers outside in the streets. Like animals. Just like animals, savages. With the boots, engineered boots, and the bandana, like pirates. That's the only thing we had going for ourselves. Like animals. We're raised up like animals, so we act like animals. Show some heart here now, boy. We just wanted to feel important, That's when we started the gang. Together, people could see, oh, well, we're going to feel good, being recognized, you know, good feeling, feel important. I used to go on a rampage, grab 5 guys on the subway, take them all off, go back downstairs, take another guy off. And one night over $1,000. Here's a guy, he's making a phone call, yoke him, strip him. We're dragging this guy in the middle of the night on the ice. His pants stuck onto his shoes, they won't come off, just dragging him down the block naked. Funniest thing. You say crime doesn't pay? Let me tell you something. Crime pays. Don't tell me crime don't pay, because it does. I've made $100 a day. Where the hell am I going to make that in the factory? These shit jobs they offer. All these shit jobs, you think we're going to go for the shit that our parents gone for? We're not gonna...
Wow, man. Burrito's been wild in America, man.
Another big story we're following tonight. A man is dead after a fight at a fast food restaurant. Good evening and thanks for being with us. I'm Shay Arthur. Memphis police say the shooting happened in the airport area outside of a Domino's Pizza off Airways. WRG's Alan Self has been working to gather more information in this case. And Alan, you spoke with employees who were there at the time of that shooting. And what are they telling you led to that violence?
Shay, witnesses say the shooting occurred after the victim attempted to purchase pizza with a counterfeit $20 bill.
I know you got to be careful, man.
Oh shit, he pulled the Floyd, man. He tried to purchase pizza with a counterfeit $20 bill, the victim. So he got killed. Peep this, y'all. Dude got killed for using the counterfeit $20 bill, man. I thought we were past that, America, killing people. Ever since George Floyd, man, killing people over counterfeit $20 bills, man. I thought we had moved past that.
There at the time of that shooting, and what are they telling you led to that violence?
Shay, witnesses say the shooting occurred after the victim attempted to purchase pizza with a counterfeit $20 bill.
I know you got to be careful, man, because folks be doing crazy stuff. I be worried about it all the time when I be doing deliveries.
A Domino's Pizza employee who requested to remain anonymous was stunned to learn about the deadly shooting Memphis police said happened outside his workplace on Airways Boulevard Saturday night. 33-year-old Eric Hodson is in custody, charged with second-degree murder. Police say a man showed up at the pickup window around 11:30 at night and tried to pay with a fake $20 bill. When employees refused, he became aggressive, climbing through the window and punching one of the workers.
Yeah, he wanted it back, and she had already ripped it up. So when she tried to give it to him, that's when he swung to get him. He tried to he opened it with his hand. He opened it himself and then reached in. Yeah, he hit her. He kept trying to swing on her and stuff.
Police say that's when Eric Hobson, who was dating the employee, stepped in. Witnesses say the two men began.
Yeah, man. Listen, man. It's a tough one, man. I can't knock this son, man. I can't really knock this son, man. If the other son man was acting like an asshole, I can't really knock this son, man. So far.
So when she tried to give him, that's when he swung to get him. He tried to swing. He opened it with his hand. He opened it himself and then reached in. Yeah, he hit her. He kept trying to swing on her and stuff.
Police say that's when Eric Hobson, who was dating the employee, stepped in. Witnesses say the two men began fighting in the parking lot, which lasted for over 5 minutes. We talked to an employee who witnessed the entire incident. She shared a video of the fight and described the chaos. She says the victim refused to leave, and Hobson may have shot him by accident, trying to scare him off.
Oh my God, he just shot him.
The video shows Hobson approaching the victim after the shooting, appearing to render aid. This has raised questions by some witnesses if the shooting was accidental.
That's why I said he didn't try to do it because he went to go help.
Hobson was taken into custody at his home. The victim was pronounced dead at the scene.
Hobson is now being held on a $150,000 bond. His court date is scheduled for Tuesday. For your news leader at 12.
Yeah, man, free this brother, man. Free Hobson, man. Free Hobson, man. This brother was just there with his girlfriend at his girlfriend's job, and some maniac came up there acting like a jackass. Free this brother, man. Press 1, man.
Leader at 201 Poplar, I'm Alan Self, WREG, News Channel 3.
trying to get whatever he had in his hand. Somebody said knife. I don't know if it was, and then I heard later maybe it was scissors.
A quiet Sunday afternoon quickly turned chaotic. A man is in custody tonight after allegedly slashing a guard in Rittenhouse Square with a pair of scissors. It is Sunday night. I'm Walter Perez. The big story in Action News is the stabbing investigation from normally quiet Rittenhouse Square. The incident unfolding as folks enjoyed the afternoon at the park. Action News reporter Brianna Gallagher joins us live from police headquarters with details tonight. Brianna.
Smash, man. Everyone take the $5 challenge, man. Support the channel via PayPal, Cash App, or the Super Chat. Take the $5 challenge. Salute to Miss Webster, man. Shout out to you, man. AKA Michael Babe Ruth Jordan coming through once again, man. She says, Hell's Angels versus Colorado Venezuela gang. Send link to inbox. Yeah, I'm going to look that up. We'll do that next, man. Matter of fact, we'll do that next. We'll do the Hell's Angels, man.
Yeah, Walter, the suspect is in custody tonight as Philadelphia police continue to investigate a stabbing in Rittenhouse Square. Meanwhile, this all unfolded as the park was full with people.
We hear noise, a crash, the music stops, and then there are two guys fighting in the guard house right there.
Just after 4 o'clock on Sunday, Philadelphia police responded to Rittenhouse Square for a stabbing.
They come falling out of the doors there onto the ground. The security guard has the guy's hand. He won't let go of his hand.
Police tell Action News a 34-year-old man walked up to the security booth in the middle of the park, went inside and laid down. The park guard, who is a 40-year-old city employee with the Parks and Recreation Department, told him he was not allowed inside. That's when police say the suspect stood up and stabbed the city employee in the forehead above the eye with a pair of scissors.
Damn. That was an escalation. Why didn't this guy de-escalate, man? Man, this guy de-escalate the situation, man.
4-year-old man walked up to the security booth in the middle of the park, went inside and laid down. The park guard, who is a 40-year-old city employee with the Parks and Recreation Department, told him he was not allowed inside. That's when police say the suspect stood up and stabbed the city employee in the forehead above the eye with a pair of scissors.
He suffered a laceration to the face above the eye. It was a pretty serious injury.
The city employee overseeing security for the park was rushed to the hospital. Police say people ran over to help and held down the suspect until officers arrived.
There's a very, very large crowd of people that are usually here at the park throughout the weekend. A number of them actually grabbed the assailant and held him down until police arrived.
A Sunday afternoon on a holiday weekend, the park was packed with people when this unfolded.
It was alarming. I mean, sort of everybody knows that the city has its issues with crime, but I think that this area is typically thought to be.
Why do you think this area is typically thought to be safe, man? Can anybody tell me why they think this area is typically thought to be safe, man, even though the city has its issues with crime? Shout out to Gene B, man. Gene B. I don't know, man. I can't quite put my finger on it, man.
Holiday weekend, the park was packed with people when this unfolded.
It was alarming. I mean, sort of everybody knows that the city has its issues with crime, but I think that this area is typically thought to be a little safer.
Yeah, I just was reading my book and I heard, get him.
He was reading his book, man. That brother was out there reading, man. Who believes him, man? Do you believe this brother, man? I don't know, bro. I need. I don't know, man. We might have to check the cameras, man. Brother said he was reading a book, man.
Everybody knows that the city has its issues with crime, but I think that this area is typically thought to be a little safer.
Yeah, I just was reading my book and I heard, get him, like yelling and screaming back and forth.
Now, police want to stress that this appears to be a random act and there is no threat to the public. That suspect, who is now in custody, will be undergoing a mental evaluation. We're live on
a mental evaluation, man. Stab somebody in the forehead, you get a mental evaluation, man.
Are the Hells Angels going to Colorado? So I've been riding all day, guys, and I am not a Hells Angel. I'm not with HA. I am with a 1% Club. Here's what I will tell you, guys. Everybody wants to know, is it true? Is it true? Are the Angels going to Colorado? Here's all I'm going to say. If a 1% Club like the Hells Angels were to decide to get involved in whatever's going on in Colorado, it wouldn't be because you got on TikTok and you asked them to do it. No, it wouldn't be because the mayor or some congressman said, hey, can you guys come over here and help us? It's not how it works. The only way on God's green earth that HA or any other 1% Club would be going to Aurora, Colorado to do anything, the only reason they would be doing that is if one of their own got fucked with. Y'all didn't fuck with one of the HAs up there, did you? Ooh, listen. It's really not a good idea. If one of their family members, a good friend of the club, a mother, one of their old ladies, if HA is on their way there, and I'm not HA at all, it's because somebody messed with one of their own. That'd be the only reason they'd do it. And if that happened, if they did that, if they are headed that way, I'm going to just highly recommend that you guys go ahead and clear out. Just whoever it was that did whatever you did to piss off the 1%ers here in America. This is not Venezuela. This is not Brazil. This is not whatever country you came from. Up here, things really are done differently. And you don't want to stand in the way. If you pissed off HA to the point where they got on their motorcycles and they're all headed to Colorado, yeah, now the news won't even talk about it when it's all said and done. Nope. We'll know. People that know will know. But the news won't talk about it. Peace and love. I'm out.
What's up, folks? Welcome to Nino's Corner.tv. I'm doing a Fluff Tube special edition. Lots of stuff getting out there right now on the Hells Angels headed to Colorado, Aurora, Colorado. A lot of crazy activity happening down there. me being in El Paso, I have gotten word that they are making their way through the states again. And I'm not gonna lie, I was here just down the street and I saw two very sketchy individuals. This was yesterday. It was for my nephew's birthday party, and it was around the Peter Piper Pizza area, and there were some guys with tattoos all over their face walking in and out of the parking lot. And I asked them, "Donde eres?" And they
Let me see if it's on Twitter, man. Let me see if it's on Twitter, man. Not a lot of people. Let me see if it's on Twitter, man. I don't think the Hells Angels. Now they are deep, man. Don't get me wrong, man. They're deep as hell. But all they gotta do is January 6th, those white boys, and you won't have no problem with them, man. So all you gotta do is January 6th, those white boys, man. Put some charges on a couple of them white boys, and you won't have nothing to worry about, man. Press 1. Shout out to Cool Cat. He says, "Yo, in the nation, what's up? Hope everyone okay and enjoys this great show and the weekend. Allowing women to vote ruin this country. Sorry, ladies. Damn. You came in and smoked the ladies, man. Damn, Cool Cat. Shit. The fuck the ladies do to you, man? He smoked y'all for no reason. That was a unprovoked attack, man. Shit. This video's from 2013. They floating around old videos, man. That's crazy, man. The Hells Angels ain't coming there, man. If the Hells Angels, why would the Hells Angels go there? I just oh, the Amish are coming though. The Amish are going. Amish will be there.
Cause you know this Trump train don't stop. Tell me you ain't the same on the game. Hey, Donald Trump is your president, and if you like it or not, see the energy you had with Barack.
Damn, Aurora's only 23 minutes from Denver. Damn, that's crazy. Rumors are swirling online that bikers, Hells Angels, are going to Aurora, Connecticut to confront the Venezuelan gangs who have taken over apartment complex. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I don't know. We'll have to somebody send me something, man. Did you send me something, Christy? Send me something, man. Let's see. Let me see. Okay, okay. I got the video you just sent me. I'm let me play this video. Let me play this video you just sent me, man. You said the volume's low for some reason? The volume is low for some reason? Press 1 if the volume is low. Gee.
Have you guys heard about what's going on in Aurora, Colorado?
I mean, they're taking over the city. They're taking over apartment complexes. And this is happening all over, just not Colorado. But the Colorado thing caught the imagination because there were many of them with the biggest weapons that you've ever seen.
So this is a gang from Venezuela called Tren de Agua. And what happened in Venezuela is the government let a bunch of these dudes out of prison and sent them to go across the border, to come over here. Thanks, Venezuela. And now they're taking over whole apartment complexes out there in Aurora, Colorado, and they're doing a lot of damage in New York. And El Paso, Texas is on high alert right now because of how much damage they're doing out there. But America already has its own organizations and criminal elements, and none of them are taking too kindly to any of this. One in specifically who's been rumored to be stepping up, and we're going to talk about that right now, is the Hells Angels. So the Hells Angels are one of the first and one of the most powerful biker MCs on the entire planet. And if they're coming for you, it's already guaranteed that you need to stop, drop, roll, dig a little hole, crawl inside it, and probably die before they get their hands on you. I've worked with some of these dudes, and they were great to do business with because they acted very professionally, but they are definitely no joke, and you do not want to piss these dudes off. And the internet is exploding with rumors right now that the Hells Angels are on their way to Aurora, Colorado to deal with Tren de Agua. So let's get into this and see what we can figure out, if there's any truth to that or if there's not, and what we think is going to happen when they face off with these Venezuelans.
Right now, Aurora police officers, they're patrolling areas of suspected gang activity, and that includes this apartment building. This is the one at Dallas Street and 12th Avenue, where Venezuelan gang members have been caught on camera with guns breaking into units.
Wait. I thought none of this was actually happening, and everybody who was saying anything about what was going on is a racist. What happened? Oh, yeah, that's right. We caught it on video. It went national news, and now Trump and Kamala Harris are both talking about this, and it's just been established as a fact, and even the governor is talking about it. Funny how that works, huh?
Now, so much of this has been the focus of national attention this week. We have been reporting on this at the local level for weeks, but police now say they're there as well, engaging with residents.
Thank God. Nobody's going to have to shoot their own dog because now the cops are there to do it for them. But to be completely fair, I'm pretty sure that the cops have known that this was a real life thing for at least a couple of weeks because they had a shootout with them. And it was established that the higher ups in this organization have put a green light for them to attack any cops who tried to stop or pursue them while they were committing crimes.
Aurora leaders say the city, it's a safe place to live, to work, to shop.
Hey, Jax, they said it's completely safe to live in Aurora. Should we go buy a house there? Yeah, this doesn't look super safe to me either.
The video shows a group of men walking up a stairwell at the Edge Lowry apartment complex in Aurora. All of them appear to be carrying rifles and handguns, and the video shot earlier this month.
So I think at this point we've clearly established that if you are an American, if you are a law-abiding citizen, if you're even an American criminal, these dudes have now become the ops. So let's talk about the unsung heroes of this situation who are stepping in and are going to be doing something about this, the Hells Angels. And the internet has been flooded with rumors at this point that this
I don't think the Hells Angels is coming. Shout out to IA. He says, went to watch Aliens. It's a mud shark movie. Every movie preview was mud shark or white people are weird and evil type movie. Mufasa was normal, sad. Oh, there's a movie called Aliens out? Aliens is out. Did they remake Aliens, the movie? Because I remember that movie came out when I was a kid. Yeah, Aliens came out when I was a kid. Did they remake it? I don't know. Alien Romulus? Oh. Alien Romulus. I don't know what movies is out, man. I'm just, I ain't been in the movies in years, man. Okay, Alien Romulus. Oh, it's black people in it and shit. Oh, wow. Yeah, so it's the same it's the same thing as Sigourney Weaver, man. I remember that. Sigourney Weaver, man. They like put them in pods and put them to sleep, and then they had to, I don't know. That was a great movie though. Aliens was ahead of his time, man. Aliens was ahead of his time. Shout out to Sigourney Weaver, man. Mad P says, "Oh, Miss Katie, oh Miss Katie, Miss Katie, Miss Katie, I love you, yes I do." Shout out to Miss Katie, man. Miss Katie doing big things, man. We love Miss Katie. If you want to see my Caitlin Clark videos, that's on my other channel, Ock Nation TV. I cover the WNBA now, man. I would have never expected that I would cover the WNBA, but it's happened.
This is going to happen, but I've actually gotten in touch with someone who is an actual Hells Angel in the state of Colorado, and I'm going to tell you what they said.
Now, the first thing that you need to understand is that if the Hells Angels want to move on these dudes in Colorado, they do not have to flood in from other states. Colorado already has multiple chapters of the Hells Angels that are there, they're ready, and they're equipped to handle business if that's what they want to do. Now, could they call in backup? Absolutely, 100%. But each chapter would have to vote on that because that's the way that they work. They have autonomy. It's not all just run by one centralized government in their organization. What my contact on the inside in Colorado has told me is that they have plans to roll up. Nothing more, nothing less. And that's a direct quote. And of course, that's an intentionally vague statement, which I would expect nothing less, because what you have to understand about these organizations is they're under constant surveillance and they're always under the threat of RICO Act, which would not only affect them, but affect their brotherhood worldwide. But what does that actually mean? All I can say on that is, if you know, you know. And a big shout out, love and respect to all the homies out there in Colorado.
I'm not going to get too deep into their politics. It's not really my business. I am not a member of their organization. But what I will say is that there is the potential for this to go higher and higher and escalate if these ops want to escalate the situation with them. In fact,
you know where the real thing gonna go down? As these Venezuelans get locked up and start getting arrested, and they go to prison and they start forming prison gangs. That's when it's really gonna go down with the Hells Angels and the Aryan Brotherhood in prison. And more than likely they're gonna be allies against the blacks. More than likely, because those prison groups, the Hells Angels, the Nazi lowriders, the Aryan Nation, the Brand, all those white prison groups, they're allies with the Mexican mafia. They're allies with the Norteños, Sureños, and they're enemies with the Black Guerrilla family and the Bloods and the Crips and all that stuff. So, because everything's racial in jail. We'll get back to that, man.
Officials in Nassau County saying their controversial mask ban is already delivering results.
That's right. They say the ban led to the arrest of an 18-year-old with a large knife. Jessica Formosa live in Mineola with new details. We just learned about that arrest. Jess.
Stephen, Natasha, that's right. Officials here today saying that this new ban actually works, that it prevented a tragedy from happening on Sunday. Police say a concerned resident called 911 saying that she saw a suspicious man wearing a mask. Authorities telling us that that suspect told them he was going to commit a robbery.
We averted a crime
Somebody could have been stabbed as a result of this.
Nassau County Police making their first arrest under its controversial new law banning face masks in public. Police say on Sunday a concerned Levittown resident called 911 reporting a suspicious man wearing a mask.
This individual in himself was not suspicious. The fact that he was wearing that mask is why the call came in. Why it was suspicious.
Police say it was around 8 p.m. in Hicksville, right on the border of Levittown. 18-year-old Wesley Omar Ramirez Castillo was wearing all black and a black ski mask. After questioning him, police noticed something bulging from his waistband. It was a knife.
He turned around and he said, "I'm wearing the mask. They told me to wear it, and they gave me the knife to do a robbery." They patted him down on the waistband and they recovered a large butcher-style knife, a Rambo-style knife.
Authorities say Ramirez Castillo of Guatemala is in the country illegally. He was charged with criminal possession of a weapon, obstruction.
This kid's in the country illegally. I want to know, do y'all feel like they're taking this seriously enough? Are y'all satisfied with the way the politicians are taking this? It seems like this is not being, maybe because it's an election season and don't nobody really want to touch this, because the left don't want to touch this because they don't want to upset the wokesters. Seem like it seemed like the Republicans aren't really addressing it either, because I think the Republicans don't want to upset the wokesters either. Salute to everybody watching. The link is in the. I'm put the link in the description box. It just seemed like this is just, the urgency isn't there when they talk about this stuff, man. These dudes are here, man. They are here. It's up. And I don't feel like there's enough urgency about this.
Castillo of Guatemala is in the country illegally. He was charged with criminal possession of a weapon, obstructing governmental administration, and violating the new mask ban.
If we don't give our police officers the tools necessary to combat crime, someone with a knife like this could potentially kill somebody.
But there's a lot of controversy surrounding the Nassau County ban. Although it exempts the use of masks for health and religious reasons, a disability rights organization is challenging the ban, filing a federal class action lawsuit citing discrimination against people with disabilities. The New York Civil Liberties Union says the law is concerning.
Nassau County is using the mask ban as a way to engage in selective enforcement. The Nassau County Police Department has a history of aggression and discrimination. To say that,
oh, white woman, Jesus Christ, it's always a white woman. It's always a white woman, man. Y'all are so predictable. This country would be infinitely safer if it wasn't for white women, man. White women make you unsafe, man. That shit is crazy.
The New York Civil Liberties Union says the law is concerning.
Nassau County is using the mask ban as a way to engage in selective enforcement. The Nassau County Police Department has a history of aggression and discrimination. To say that the arrest justifies the mask ban to us is a non sequitur. It really is a silly leap of logic here.
Now, as to that class action lawsuit, the county executive says he is not worried. Now, as to the suspect, well, he is back on the streets due to the bail laws. He was not held. We are told that.
Oh, wow. He's back on the streets already. Yo, that kid's back on the streets, man. That's crazy. He's
What
already
religious
streets. Huh?
What religious belief requires you to carry a big ass knife as such?
Robbery, man.
These are the people that are going to cause us to. I'm not even going to say it, but these are your enemies, people. These are your enemies. These people who are fighting for this bullshit.
Yeah, shout out to Kim W, man. Kim W in the building. Shout out to my man Crazy Legs, man. He became a member for 3 months. That's big. He said, new Gladiator trailer looks amazing. Gladiator trailer? Oh, the Gladiator the movie. Okay. There's a Gladiator movie. Man, thanks, man. I didn't know that, man. Salute to you for being a member for 3 months. Oakview in the building. Oh, Miss Katie. Oh, Miss Katie. Miss Katie. Miss Katie. I love you. Yes, I do. This kid is back out on the street, man.
To the county executive says he is not worried. Now, as to the suspect, well, he is back on the streets due to the bail laws. He was not held. We are told that he has ties to gangs. We're live in Mineola tonight. I'm Jessica Formoso, Fox 5 News. Natasha, Steve.
Yo, this is I don't know, man. We need more urgency.
He has ties to gangs.
Hi, everybody.
So we're gonna let him right back out on the street.
Unbelievable, man. I mean, they let everybody out. They let Sun teams out too, man. But still, man, they at least citizens.
Kai Jackson here. I am in Highlandtown today in Baltimore. In fact, I'm looking over here. I'm at actually Conkling and Fleet Streets. Look at these beautiful townhomes. My, how Baltimore's just changed and grown over the years. A lot of it good, and some things also concerning. Why am I in Highlandtown? Well, funny you
do look like my pops.
I want to share a story with you. And periodically, I'm going to try and put some stories on my Facebook page, maybe some other platforms, about people I come across, stories I come across that I think folks ought to know about. And this particular story is about two people I know, friends named Shayla and Russell. So I've known Russell for a couple of years now. Russell used to be a bartender at a restaurant that I like to go to in Canton. He's not there anymore. But he and Shayla live here in Highlandtown, which is why I'm here to share this story with you. He calls me one day and says, hey, Kai, can I want to tell you something. I'm like, okay. He said, Shayla and I had a break-in last night. I'm like, whoa, what happened? So he proceeds to tell me, but the story takes an even more concerning twist. It wasn't just a break-in. Somebody broke into their house while they were inside sleeping, right? Can you imagine just how, frightening, how disconcerting that would be? And the funny thing is, Russell said they thought they heard something. They weren't sure while they were in bed. But, you hear bumps in the night, so to speak, and you don't pay it much attention. And they just kept on sleeping. When they got up in the morning, they realized somebody had, in fact, broken into the house, stole some things. And you're going to hear in this report, in my story, something really gross that this burglar did that just freaked Shayla out, and it kind of grossed me out too. I'm not saying this never happened before, but nonetheless, it's gross. But the reason why I'm telling their story is I think this is a part of a larger conversation about how a lot of people just don't feel necessarily safe in their homes. They may not feel safe in their communities. And what are some of the answers to that? We want to look at that. So we're going to try and obviously talk with police about that, but other people. In the meantime, here's Shayla and Russell's story.
This place is kind of cool. It's called Box and Boards. They make those charcuterie boards.
Oh, yeah. So you can get those if you have some friends over for a party? Are they good?
Yeah. And then there's the antique store. This is really cool. Hi, I'm Shayla Wilson.
Hello, I'm Russell Ward.
Shayla Wilson and Russell Ward love their Highlandtown home and neighborhood.
I think it's pretty like a middle class, family oriented kind of neighborhood. Like you're in the city, but it's very walkable. There's great shops and places to eat around here. We have an arts district. We have lots of really great things going on.
It's a place they've called home for the past 4 years, but their sanctuary and peace of mind have been violated.
We got our detached garage in the back of our house broken into twice, but that was just the garage. And yes, that was awful. And people took the lawnmower and tools and things of that. Actually, 2 lawnmowers, but tools and things of that nature. But we got that fixed, and so it's like harder to get into. But that's not my house.
And the refrigerator door and the freezer door were open. And then I looked to my left, and all of the bar cabinets were open. And I also saw a bunch of clothes just thrown all about.
On October 30th, 2023, Shayla and Russell were stunned. They got up one morning and discovered someone had broken into their home while they slept.
Obviously, they came into the refrigerator and ate food.
Their nasty hands were on the refrigerator doors.
Yes.
I mean, how much did that gross you out?
Oh, it was disgusting. I mean, it still makes me feel really gross because I told you I definitely took every single thing out of there and cleaned that thing. And then I realized that there was food items on our counter. Like I had made chicken the night before, put it in the refrigerator. There was a plate with chicken bones on it. And yeah.
The couple says the thieves stole Shayla's work laptop, other items, then bolted.
I saw 2 people on the camera. I think one went through the window and then he finally opened the back door for the other one. And then, yeah, because you see them they went out the front door.
Shayla and Russell called Baltimore police.
So it was one officer. He came, he looked around. He called the forensic team. They actually came and they dusted all the stuff for fingerprints, took our
CSI in here.
Yeah, took our statements, took our neighbor's statement because they definitely attempted to get into her place first.
Shayla and Russell had a friend and neighbor named Melissa. She took these pictures of an attempted break-in at her house in October of 2023. Melissa has since sold her house and left Baltimore. So what will it take for this couple and their cat to feel safer in their own home and neighborhood?
I feel like depending on where you live in the city is how much police patrol you get.
So that is Shayla and Russell's story. I want
to. Yeah, man. That's crazy, man. Shayla and Russell, man. They look like a nice couple, man. They seem like nice people, man. I know they're liberal. I know they would hate me. I know that. I know these people would hate me, man. But yeah, man, they seem like nice people. They seem like they seem clueless. You know what I mean? Like they probably have no idea that the way they vote leads to this, and their voting tendencies. They probably can't make any connection with that, but. Seem like nice people, man. They weren't preachy. They weren't all preachy and woke and shit, at least in this, man. Maybe they got their Negro wake-up call. Salute to Louis Barrow. Let me read your super chats from Ock Nation Gold. I didn't even know y'all was super chatting over there, but salute. I'm gonna have to start checking over here, man. Louis Barrow, he says, is a mud shark a glider queen that only dates sunmen, or glider queen that happens to date a sunman but will still date a glider king? That's a great question. When I think of mud sharks, I'm more thinking of just open to the possibilities, or does date. I never thought about exclusively. Now that would be, I think, a white woman who exclusively dates Sunmen. I would think that that's more like a dirt dolphin or a filthy fish. But as far as a mud shark, I think that's just somebody who is just out here open to all of that, and she'll date a brother, she'll date whoever. But usually when we meet these women, it's because something bad has happened to them, because this is a crime channel. So they usually have been with the Sunman when they gotten killed or something, but we don't know what the totality of their dating preferences are. But yeah, I think a filthy fish, a dirt dolphin, those are people that like they ain't giving a white dude a chance. Yeah, salute to Lewisboro for that super chat over on Ock Nation Gold. We're also airing on Ock Nation Gold, guys. If you want to go over there, it's a smaller chat, Ock Nation Gold. There's only 14 people over there. Link is in the description. Ock Nation Gold. We're live over there. And also shout out to Kim W for the super chat over there too as well. Shout out to Kim W. Kim W supporting big tonight. Shout out to you.
How much police patrol you get?
So that is Shayla and Russell's story. I want to thank them for talking with me. A few updates for you. Again, they did contact police. A detective came out, took a report, but I don't think they've caught the suspect at this time. I also contacted city police. They responded to me in an email because I want to interview them about just strategies for protecting your home, your family, and your community. But so far, I have not got that interview lined up. As soon as I do, I'll let you know. My next...
They said I do want to live around white people so bad, but he's stuck. I don't know about that. Guys like this, they be wanting to live in the city. You know what I mean? They have jobs and stuff. But yeah, they want to live in the part of the city away from blacks. But because since 2020, it's really hard to avoid blacks in these cities as it was before 2020. Because before 2020, blacks just stayed in their neighborhood for the most part. But after all these protests and riots in all these cities, blacks kind of like the ritzy, the parts of the cities where blacks would kind of like feel like uncomfortable at. I mean, there was protests and riots and white people spray painting and yelling at the cops and spray painting stuff on businesses, and so they lost their value. Those places lost their allure, they lost their aura, they lost their prestige. Now sons go everywhere hunting, and they don't feel it. Also, the laws and the bail laws and the shortage of police, all those things factor into the fact that sons are all over your city now. They're not just in their hoods; they're everywhere. Yeah. Let's see what else is going on.
I know a lot of people don't want to talk to the police, but he has a lot of friends that's around here. He has family that's around here. Tell somebody.
A mother is calling on the Greensboro community to cooperate with police as they investigate a shooting that killed her son. Officers found 20-year-old North Carolina A&T State University student Davian Jessup in the breezeway of an apartment complex on Spring Garden Street last night. Fox 8's Justin Lundy joins us here in the studio tonight. Justin, did investigators share what led to this shooting?
Not yet. Greensboro police say those are answers they're still working to gather right now. But Davion's mother says she spoke with a young man who watched her son take his last breath.
I just want answers. I just want anybody that can tell me anything.
24 hours after her son, Davion Jessup, was shot and killed, Carisha Boney returned to the Campus Crossing apartment complex on Spring Garden Street, where the shooting took place. Boney says her son was a junior at NCA&T who was enrolled in the management program and lived this apartment building the past 2 years.
He was a gentleman. He was a friend. He was dedicated, loving, great sense of humor.
According to Greensboro police, around 9 o'clock Thursday night, officers responded to an assault at the apartment complex. Neighbors say around the same time they heard gunfire.
I don't know if it was the victim or not, but I did see someone running towards the building. And as he was running, I did hear the gunshots, and that's what made me drop low.
Greensboro police say they found Davion unresponsive and suffering from a gunshot wound in the breezeway of this apartment building. Boney says a neighbor was by her son's side when first responders arrived.
He held his hand. He said Davion told him his name, and he told him he didn't want to die. And the guy told him, "You're not going to die. You're going to be okay." He said he held pressure to his wounds until they got there. And from what the police have told me, he just went to sleep.
Greensboro police say Davion died at the scene, and Boney hopes witnesses will help them with their investigation.
Let somebody know something. He was a young man with a bright future, and somebody took that light away.
NCA&T sent out a message to the student body today sharing their condolences and also saying there are resources on campus for those who are mourning. Neil?
All right, Justin.
Jeez. Let's see what is going on in North Carolina, man. Jeez. Ain't not much, man, down there. Whew.
Tonight, a man is in jail accused of killing a woman when he broke into her home. The victim's worried boyfriend found her busted door and body the next day. Tonight, court documents that we've looked through have laid out how investigators tracked down their suspect. Jalissa Garza joins us from the Harris County Courthouse. More on that. Jalissa.
Cheryl, court documents say Christopher Braziel attempted to burglarize the victim's home and shot her. Court documents identify the victim as Heather Smith. Tonight, Braziel is facing a capital murder charge, and court documents give us more insight as to how law enforcement was able to track him down. This was the scene Friday night on Beachmore Drive after Heather Smith was found inside her home with multiple gunshot wounds.
She apparently hadn't been seen in a couple of days. The boyfriend had come over to check on her. When he got here, he found the door had been kicked in.
According to court documents obtained by KHOU, investigators found multiple fired cartridges, signs of forced entry, a footprint on the door, and Smith's body lying on a bedroom floor. Those same court documents say detectives got a hold of still pictures of the suspected killer from surveillance video at a nearby home. Court documents say photos showed on Thursday at 4:47 p.m. a silver Chevy Silverado was parked in Smith's driveway, and a man, now identified as Christopher Braziel, could be seen between the truck and Smith's front door. Detectives say they ran the truck's license plate, found out the vehicle was registered to Braziel, and matched a previous mugshot to the surveillance photos. Investigators also unlocked Smith's phone and found security videos that showed Braziel near her home. Detectives found Braziel in the same truck, in the same clothes, and carrying the same gun that he's accused of killing Smith with. Now, tonight, a judge will decide whether or not Braziel gets bond. You can also head over to KHOU.com right now for a full timeline from those court documents. In the meantime, we did speak with Smith's family. They tell me that she was a mother and was very loved. Cheryl?
Wow.
Across Texas tonight, police say a military veteran in his 90s is dead after a carjacking. Officers.
Oh no, this is unacceptable. This is unacceptable, man. This is unacceptable, man. We can't have this, man. This shit is unacceptable, man.
Across Texas tonight, police say a military veteran in his 90s is dead after a carjacking. Officers are still looking for the suspect, but they have found a key piece of evidence. It happened yesterday outside an assisted living apartment complex off West Bray Parkway near South Gessner and West Belfort. Troy Kless spoke with a witness after he watched the tragedy unfold.
Sad, upset, frustrated. I mean, you're attacking elderly people, middle of the day.
Rod Boson lives right next to the Lone Star Living Complex off of West Bray Parkway. He was in his backyard the moment the fatal confrontation happened.
I heard the argument, the commotion. I could kind of see through the picket fence, but I just saw bodies moving. I couldn't make out any description, I couldn't see any faces or anything. I heard arguing, men arguing. The next thing I know, I heard a gunshot, so I ducked back into my garage.
Houston police say the victim, a man in his 90s, was carjacked around 12:45 p.m. Saturday. A grocery cart, one of the pieces of evidence at the scene.
He had his little shopping cart, and a scuffle ensued. They say he put up a good fight.
Officers say the suspect stole the victim's car, a white sedan, and ran over the victim while leaving the scene. Boson.
Yo, this is unacceptable, man.
This is the norm.
A 90-year-old veteran gets killed in a carjacking. Like, yo, man, what the fuck?
Yeah, I have no words for this, man. This is.
If it's not an old veteran, it's like, I don't know, some white lady.
Might have seen the suspect drive away.
Because when I saw the car, I didn't know to be looking inside the car. I just saw the car pull up, the gate didn't open, he hurried up and went the other way.
Houston police say they found the victim's vehicle dropped off at an apartment complex off of Dunlap Street, about 3 miles away from where the victim was shot and killed. At the first scene, Boson says he overheard residents and the apartment's maintenance crew mourning the man's loss.
World War II veteran, kind, friendly gentleman, always smiling to everybody. It's a shame what happened. It's a retirement community. It's a shame that they look at them as easy targets.
Shit, man. What the fuck?
He was just...
That's him, y'all. The fuck? Yo, if that was a goddamn sun turd, man, y'all get a lynching pass, man. I'm giving white America a lynching pass, man. Forget an N-word pass. Y'all get a lynch pass, man. Y'all get lynching. If a son man did this, man, y'all get the lynching, man.
He was just a good, faithful Christian man. He loved Jesus. He loved his church.
Loved ones mourn the loss of a beloved great-grandfather, neighbor, and friend. Their hearts broken today after 90-year-old Nelson Beckett's life was taken in a violent carjacking. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Bill Barajas. Police say Nelson Beckett was shot and killed yesterday at the Lone Star Senior Living Apartments in Southwest Houston. The shooter, who has not been named, is still on the run. Crime Stoppers offering up to $5,000 for information leading to an arrest. Today, KPRC2's Corley Peel spoke to Mr. Beckett's family and church about how they wanted him to be remembered.
I spoke with Nelson Beckett's daughter. She says her father was the kindest and funniest man you'd ever meet. This apartment complex where he was killed is where he lived, but where he also cared for many people.
Sunday service at Southwest Central Church of Christ, off to a somber start.
Our dear friend, our beloved brother, Nelson Beckett,
died yesterday afternoon, killed by a person hijacking Nelson's car. Even saying that aloud now is hard to believe and hard to fathom.
In the congregation, Beckett's friend of 47 years, Steve Sandifer. I spoke with him on the phone.
I told his daughter, I said, you know, had she called me that morning and said, Dad didn't wake up this morning, I would have said, good, he's lived his 90 years, he's been a champion of faith and everything else, he's lived a great life. But to hear that he had been murdered, that was just beyond me.
The deadly carjacking happening right outside Beckett's apartment building. His car found 10 minutes away at a different apartment complex.
It was total shock. I'd seen him on Wednesday. He was 90, but he was very mobile.
Sandifer says the Navy veteran was a natural caretaker, driving neighbors to doctor appointments, picking people up from halfway houses to take them to church.
Do you have a favorite memory with Nelson, something that sticks out to you over the past 47 years that y'all have had together?
Laughing. Eating and laughing. Nelson was a comedian of sorts. He always had a funny story. And so when he started talking about, well, there was this man, you knew it was a story, not a true thing. And you'd get around to the point eventually. But he was a very loving man, a very caring man. He was just a good, faithful Christian man. He loved Jesus. He loved his church.
The shooter on the run, but Sandifer is confident whoever killed his one-of-a-kind friend will be caught.
Police have not released a detailed description of the man accused of killing Beckett, but he is believed to be armed and dangerous. Those with any information are asked to contact the Houston Police Department. Corley Peel, KPRC 2 News.
Mother is speaking out tonight after her teenage son was attacked inside his school locker room. It happened at Dublin High School after school. Police say at least one parent helped carry out the attack. And tonight, the victim's mother and the victim are demanding action to keep something like this from happening on school grounds again.
These guys come in the locker room and they ask, "Are you Dasani? Are you Dasani?" And they wanted to do sucker punches me. I stand up, I start fighting back, and they all start jumping me.
I'm hurting for him because I don't know how it's going to affect him lifelong, the trauma that he ensued.
Cherie Barfield and her 14-year-old son Dasani are both shaken up and concerned for the future after he was jumped inside the locker room at Dublin High School.
There's so many different emotions that are going through my head.
Even more so after police say a parent helped carry out the attack.
I just can't fathom how another parent can just bring bodily harm against another child and just get away with it.
Dublin police say the parent approached Dasani before 4 people wearing hoodies began assaulting the teen. One of his football teammates was among those who rushed in to stop the attack.
I pushed someone off, that was it.
Barfield says her son suffered a concussion and a broken nose. But it's the fact that the people who did this could so easily get into the school that now has her questioning the safety of others and demanding action from school leaders.
I just want my son to be safe. I want all kids to be safe in this community. We live here. We started a restaurant here to bring this community together. And I feel like my son is great. He's been great ever since he was born. And for somebody to try to ruin that is unjust. Injustice will be served.
All right, the school principal did release a statement. They sent us this statement to parents saying, quote, "We are outraged that this happened on our campus. School must be a place where all feel safe and supportive. We are working with the police to address this to the full extent of the law."
Wow. Sounds like normal day at a black school, man.
every day, all day. It's crime, it's shooting, it's robberies, it's breaking in houses, it's breaking in cars. Like, when is it enough?
Tonight, families are grieving after a shooting in Oakland killed 2 people and seriously injured 2 others. Police say someone opened fire into a group of people during an argument on Saturday morning. 2 of the people who were shot were related. Crown 4's Jack Mulbud spoke with their families. He joins us live in studio with what they had to say tonight. Jack.
Well, Waltrice Dillahunt was one of those killed, according to her family. Now, her sister, Angel Tanner, was shot as well, but just went into surgery today to remove several bullets. Her recovery is still not known. Now, the family tells me that they're sick and tired of gun violence in Oakland and are demanding something must be done to stop it.
Oh, I just want to say that I miss my daughter. I miss her so much, and I love her, and her daughter is going to be loved by many in this family.
Tanya Van Hock is in shock and immense grief.
She was, her smile, her laugh, her willingness to come whenever I needed her to come, she was right there.
She says her daughter, 35-year-old Waltrice Dillahunt, was one of those killed in Saturday's shooting on 83rd Street in Southeast Oakland. It happened just 1 week after Waltrice's birthday.
That's the last time I talked to her.
Waltrice leaves behind 2 children, one just 4 years old. Her sister, Angel Tanner, also shot and is fighting for her life in the hospital. Family.
Yo, sisters be getting shot, yo. That shit just don't be seeming normal, like, for women to get shot in public. Like, when we see a white woman get shot or a Hispanic woman get shot, it's like 90% of the time it's in the home, right? Would you guys say? It's in the home and it's by someone they knew?
Yeah, with gliders, definitely.
Yeah, when sisters get shot, it be by somebody they know in public. You know what I'm saying? It'd be weird, man. That shit just be weird.
Killed in Saturday's shooting on 83rd Street in Southeast Oakland. It happened just 1 week after Waltrice's birthday.
That's the last time I talked to her.
Waltrice leaves behind 2 children, one just 4 years old. Her sister, Angel Tanner, also shot and is fighting for her life in the hospital. Family says Tanner was shot 4 times.
I'm just glad I didn't lose her too. Just glad she's still here.
The family was in Oakland on Saturday to celebrate Angel's daughter's birthday. Police say an argument led to the shooting that targeted 4 people. The gunman is still on the loose.
We just lost a very, very important person. She was a glue that kept us all together.
La Janisha. Ooh. Let me read this. Funk Master General says, I saw them arresting a masked dude. We got illegal burritos all over the island. Trump came to Brentwood to beat down MS-13. They own that town. Long Island. I think he's talking about Long Island. Yeah, y'all done, man. Long Island. La Janisha Looney. La Janisha Looney. Your name is Looney.
On the loose.
We just lost a very, very important person. She was a glue that kept us all together.
Speaking to us remotely from the hospital, all Aljanisha Looney can.
Look at them. Look at them nostrils, man. Yeah. You can see her fucking brain, man.
Do is pray for her aunt and grieve with Nafisha King, the sister of Waltrice and Angel.
Waltrice is a wonderful sister. No one deserves to be gunned down like that. Like nobody.
All 3 family members tell us the violence in Oakland is unacceptable and that people in the city are losing hope.
It's just evil after evil. Like, I don't know why everybody's so cruel. Like, it's every day, all day. Who's
gonna tell her, man? Who's gonna tell her it's not people, man? That it's not people. That America don't have a gun problem, man.
I'll do it, Doc.
Yeah, man.
It's crime, it's shooting, it's robberies, it's breaking in houses, it's breaking in cars. Like, when is it enough?
How long is this going to go on before somebody does something to stop it? How many families have to be torn apart?
Now, Nafisha also tells me that she used to live in the very same apartment complex as Waltrice and that she saw and heard of people being shot multiple times until she moved out just this last year. She also says that the man who shot her sister was a neighbor.
So they knew each other, essentially. That's really...
Yeah, man. White woman, that's how it goes down, man. It goes down, down, down over there, man. Let me see. What if we can find.
New developments tonight in a shooting that killed 2 people and injured 2 others this past weekend in Oakland. Police announcing today that they have made arrests in the case. KTVU's Amber Lee live tonight in studio after speaking with the family of 2 victims who are sisters. Amber.
Mike, family members tell me they're stunned by the senselessness of what happened. They say the altercation that led to the deadly shooting started after one victim asked a neighbor to move his car, which was blocking a driveway.
Oh, yeah, that's how it can go down. Yeah, gotta get it. Some man will have an attitude. You ask a son man to do anything, they gonna have an attitude. Yeah, yeah. You can listen. I can ask my white neighbors that shit anytime, man. You know what I'm saying? You can, hey, buddy, can you? They can ask each other, and nothing's gonna happen. Son, man, it's like, oh shit, man, this nigga, man. Do I want to deal with this nigga shit, man? Do I want to ask this nigga? Nigga gonna have an attitude. You know the nigga gonna act like a bitch. That's the one thing about it with a son, man. You it's almost like asking your girl some shit that you know she don't want to do. It's the same type feeling. If I could describe it to non-son people, it's like asking your girl, like your girl don't like to do XYZ. Like your girlfriend don't like your mother-in-law, don't like your mother. So it's like asking your girl to like, you know what I'm saying, call your mother and ask her something for you. Or can you go over my mother's house and get such and such? And you like, damn, I gotta ask her that shit. And you thinking about it like, damn. You trying to figure out the best way to say it, how to say it in a way that's just not going, you know what I'm saying? That's how asking a son man anything, especially if you don't know him, that's the type of mental gymnastics you go through and asking the son man anything. I'm talking about, anything.
Then afterwards, what happens is after the conflict ends in like him shooting you or something and going to jail, then the liberal white woman will be complaining on the news about how how many times black men end up going to jail when you ask them to move their car in their driveway. So why would you endanger his life by asking him to do that? We need laws against asking a black person to move their car.
Yeah.
It's
definitely.
like, how about you like be a normal member of society and not shoot someone for asking you to move their car?
It's because they're children.
Yes. It's like pulling teeth, man. It's something that sons dread. Sons don't like doing. A lot of sons will be overly aggressive in those situations because they already know that the son person will act like a bitch. So they get like, hey, cuz, man, hey man, can you move your mom? Hey, you know what I'm saying? And they do it to like,
because that's the only thing they respect. If you go up and ask politely
in the situation, yeah,
you're actually putting yourself in more danger. If like most people say, well, why didn't you go over there and just like politely say, hey, excuse me, do you mind if I ask you to move your car, please, sir? It's like you're not getting a good response if you do that.
Yeah, no matter how you ask it, like you could crawl over there on your knees and lay your forehead on his feet and be like, sir, can you please
prostrating
have an attitude?
I think you'd be worse off if you asked it the way you just said. Like if you tried to be real proper about it, that would probably piss him off more.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they
Pardon thou, son man. Please, would you please moveth the car from the space? I would like to move
Please,
forward.
Lord. The
Thank you,
peasants
son
were
man.
suffering.
Yeah, and then he's like, man, shit, man, fuck, man. Look, man, hey, man, all right, I'll get to it.
Man,
And then
park somewhere else.
an hour
Man.
later, he still ain't moved the car. And you got places to go. You got and your wife like, man, go ask him. And it's like, oh man,
Yo,
the lady in it, she up there, she putting the battery in your back. She like, man, go ask him. You go tell him right now. We have places to go. And then it's like you go over there, hey man, can you please move your car, man? And it's like, dog, I already told you I was gonna do it, man. Fuck's up with you, cuz? It's like, you know what I'm saying?
Remember that dude who
Meanwhile,
was
it'd be like
play
3
on his-
parking spots.
Yeah, exactly. He could have took 20 seconds, did it, and been over with. But he gonna make you wait because he got an attitude. Part of him making you wait is because he got an attitude, and he ain't gonna let you. You know what I'm saying? He not gonna let you make him do something. So he gonna make you wait for it.
Yeah, this is exactly like that story. That guy who was letting the neighborhood kids play on his basketball court. You remember you covered that, Ak?
Yeah,
And,
definitely.
And
I remember.
his kids are trying to sleep, and his wife is like, "Yo, tell them to stop." You ask them to leave at that you have a kid sleeping. Leave at when the sun goes down. They're still out here. It's like 10 o'clock, and just like you said, she's like pressuring him, asking him. He goes out there. What ends up happening? They put him in the hospital. They all jumped him.
Yep. They knocked his teeth out and everything, man. Yep. After listen, man, it's not surprising it was something stupid. Let me just put it like that. It would have been if it was something, if this had been because of something major, that would have been shocking.
Mike, family members tell me they're stunned by the senselessness of what happened. They say the altercation that led to the deadly shooting started after one victim asked a neighbor to move his car, which was blocking a driveway.
I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to feel.
Outside Highland Hospital, grief grips the family of 2 sisters who were shot in Oakland over the weekend. Waltrice Dillinghant, on the left, died. Her sister Angel survived despite being shot 4 times. Relatives grateful she's alive, yet stunned by Waltrice's sudden death.
Waltrice was family oriented. She loved her family.
Family members tell me on Saturday morning around 9 o'clock, Waltrice returned to her apartment in East Oakland with her sister to get a change of clothing to prepare for her 8-year-old niece's birthday party. A neighbor had parked his car in the driveway of the housing complex, blocking access. When Waltrice asked the man to move his car, the man's girlfriend got into an altercation with Waltrice.
Hey, I just wanted to add to that basketball court story. He knew who those teens were. They had played on this court many times, and he knew them by name. And you'd think that he thought that having that relationship would mean something.
Right. It just does. It doesn't mean anything. And they actually think you're stupid. Like one thing about blacks too that you gotta always understand, and it just is what it is. If you're very nice or you're giving, they don't look at that. They look at that as you being stupid, more so than oh, you being nice. You know what I'm saying? Like if you give them things or you're kind, they don't deserve it. Like sons, they kind of like women, where you know how women are. If they feel like if a guy's being too nice and they haven't given them no ass, they ain't sucked his dick enough, they feel like he's a buster because they ain't earned it, right? Blacks are like that too. If you're very nice to them, more so than they've earned or anything like that, They look at you as you're stupid. And when they think you're stupid, they resent, they have contempt for you. So they don't feel sorry for you, like, oh, little stupid motherfucker. They have contempt for you because you're stupid. So it's a different thing. You gotta always remember that.
Family members say the man had a change of clothing to prepare for her 8-year-old niece's birthday party. A neighbor had parked his car in the driveway of the housing complex, blocking access. When Waltrice asked the man to move his car, the man's girlfriend got into an altercation with Waltrice. Family members say the man pulled out a gun and opened fire, killing Waltrice and a male friend who was nearby.
That's no reason to pull out a gun.
And she says that's no reason. The understatement of the year. They always say some shit that's like a complete understatement. You know what I'm saying? Like,
where it implies they're like surprised and shocked. How could this happen?
Man.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. It's no reason to murder someone because they asked you to move your car. Interesting.
Yeah. Like, wow.
Asked the man to move his car, the man's girlfriend got into an altercation with Waltrice. Family members say the man pulled out a gun and opened fire, killing Waltrice and a male friend who was nearby.
That's no reason to pull out a gun and kill her. No. And so it leaves us in a state of disbelief and shock.
Waltrice's sister and a female friend were shot and injured. Police say they arrested 2 people on Monday in connection with this case.
I'm very angry at the people that
they arrested 2 people, and the thing about that's the craziest thing, man. That you that son man who did that shit, he gonna go do that time, and it's just gonna be like he's gonna do it, man. It ain't gonna be like you know how you think about, like I think about, like, yo, doing like 20, 30 years in prison, like that's a fucking, like that's a
nightmare.
That's just, yeah, like he's gonna go do that shit, man.
That are responsible for this senseless act of violence. She didn't deserve that.
Family members tell me Waltrice's sister Angel underwent surgery in her arm Tuesday afternoon.
My mom, I'm glad she's okay. Because if I would have lost her too, it would have been just way worse on me. I could barely take my auntie being gone.
Family members say they could not rest until they received news that 2 people have been arrested.
I'm so glad they caught them, right? So we can start to heal a little bit, right?
Waltrice was a single mother raising a 4-year-old daughter. Police did not release the identities of the 2 suspects. Investigators say the case is being forwarded to the Alameda County DA's office. The family started an online fundraiser to help with funeral and medical expenses. For more information, go to ktvu.com. Mike?
Fox 2. A life gone too soon. Tonight, a mother struggling to move forward after her 17-year-old son was shot and killed in East Oakland.
Being my only son, that was like my heart, you know.
We did this one. We did that one.
Thanks for joining us. We'll get to those stories in a moment, but first, some breaking news out of St. Louis Park, where 2 people have died after a car ran through a restaurant patio. A large emergency scene at Park Tavern on Louisiana Avenue, just off of Highway 7. Joy McCoy is there right now. Joe, I know you have had a chance to talk to people. You know, what are you seeing? What are you hearing?
Yeah, Morgan, as you mentioned, police confirming 2 people have died, 3 others are injured. Police say, according to surveillance video from Park Tavern, The driver pulled into the parking lot. He attempted to park his vehicle. He then left that parking space and came down the parking lot at a high rate of speed before he drove into the patio where eyewitnesses say at least 30 people were enjoying their evening. And Morgan, I want to tell you what a man named Josh told me. So Josh was actually leaving the parking lot when this occurred. So I'm going to set the scene for you. Josh was right here where you can see this police car. Josh was turning left into this parking lot, which is when the driver who was driving down this strip here at a high rate of speed clipped Josh's car. Josh, as the man clipped his vehicle, continued to accelerate right into the patio. And I want to show some other video that we have from the scene here. One eyewitness tells me that the bar was jam-packed for the evening, and that when he came out, he was actually dining inside, and when he came out, he was able to see sheets that were over people. And Morgan, I want to just say what I heard when I was here shooting video. I was shooting the video right as I arrived on the scene around 8:45. And I heard this woman let out this harrowing scream, a scream, honestly, like I've never heard before. And I learned a couple minutes later that she let out that scream. That was the moment when she heard that one of her friends, who also is a mother of 3, is one of the people that died in this scene. Morgan, this is about as rough as it gets, especially on this wonderful.
You need those, those big, like, concrete dividers they have on the highway sometimes when the construction. You need those around any outdoor seating area. Because it's just, dang, that dude did that shit on purpose, man. That wasn't no crash. That dude did that shit on purpose.
We had a situation here in Philly where a guy ran into one of those outdoor seating areas and seriously hurt a few people.
Yeah, it happens all the time, man. People that are crazy crashing out, literally.
University of Wisconsin Whitewater community reeling this weekend after 2 all-time great athletes died over the weekend. Champion gymnast Kara Welsh shot and killed late Friday night. Then yesterday morning, former basketball star, national champion Chris Davis died in his sleep. CBS 58's Adam Wright reports on what's been a painful weekend for the Whitewater community. Adam.
Good evening, Bill. Those parallels between Chris Davis and Kara Welsh are striking. Both national champion athletes, both recognized as much for their legacies out of the gym as in it, and both of them gone too soon. Kara Welsh was shot and killed. Davis died in his sleep. That caused a very painful weekend for the UW Whitewater community.
He was a great man who gave his all to the youth.
During an illustrious athletic career, Chris Davis was named the National Player of the Year and helped UW Whitewater win the 2012 national title. But his brother Reggie says Chris will also be remembered for his extensive work off the court.
He touched so many people's lives, and a lot of people thank him for what he has done.
Chris Davis passed away in his sleep sometime Friday night or Saturday morning from a heart condition he did not know about during his playing career. Reggie Davis called Chris his big little brother. He excelled in both basketball and football. Athletic director Ryan Callahan said Davis was one of the best to ever wear a Whitewater uniform.
Everything he did, whether it was his leadership, his ability, he was one of those guys that people just gravitated toward.
When his playing career ended, Chris quickly and easily transitioned into coaching and mentoring a new generation of young people that looked up to him.
He did it, for the love of it. He did it, not to get known or to famous. He did it because he wanted to.
Most recently, Chris Davis was serving as the first ever varsity head basketball coach at Sun Prairie West High School.
It's hard to, that he's gone, and it's going to be difficult.
But there's more tragedy in Whitewater. Just across the hall from the gym where Chris Davis played is the gymnastics gym. Senior Kara Welsh was shot and killed Friday night.
Kara was just an absolutely beautiful soul. She's extremely gifted athlete, gifted academically, a strong leader.
Just before midnight Friday, Welsh was shot multiple times in her off-campus apartment. Police said there was an altercation before the shooting. A 23-year-old man was arrested. No name was released. Welsh was a two-time All-American who won the D3 vault title in 2023.
I think we can all agree that we're better people because we knew Kara for the time that we did.
Now, coming up this Tuesday, the flags on campus will fly at half-staff in honor of Kara Welsh. And Reggie Davis tells me they're planning a memorial for his brother Chris in Madison, but they're still trying to find a venue that's large enough to accommodate the expected crowd. Here in the newsroom.
Who killed Kara Walsh, man? That's what I want to know, man. Who killed her, man? Kara Walsh. She got shot. Kara Welsh. Everyone hit the like button. Take the $5 challenge. Support the channel via PayPal, Cash App, or the Super Chat.
It's a loss that has hit close to home for many loved ones here in Plainfield and those that got close to Kara Welsh over in Wisconsin. There will be a remembrance tomorrow morning on the street in Plainfield where Welsh grew up. The 21-year-old was found dead in her off-campus apartment near the University of Wisconsin Whitewater on Friday night. Police say there was a confrontation between her and a 23-year-old man before she was shot multiple times. Welsh was
There was a confrontation between her and the 23-year-old man.
in Whitewater on Friday night. Police say there was a confrontation between her and a 23-year-old man before she was shot multiple times. Welsh was majoring in management and was a standout member of that gymnastics team. The university's athletic director says they informed that team last night of her tragic death as he and a childhood friend of Welsh explained the kind of person she was.
Right away, you just knew there was so many people that were impacted by Kara's personality, her leadership, just being a great teammate.
Every memory I have was pretty much with her. We went to school together. We played in my yard together. We ran around as kids together. Mm-hmm. Every picture I have with her was just something hilarious. She was, she was the funniest person I knew when I was growing up.
Now, that 23-year-old suspect is in custody and facing several charges tonight. Police say they believe he knew Welsh.
Watch breaking news.
Tonight, several communities are mourning the death of 21-year-old Kara Welsh. Kara was a gymnast from Plainfield, Illinois, who competed on the UW Whitewater team. Police say she was shot and killed in an apartment Friday night. The suspect is a 23-year-old man who is facing several charges, including first-degree intentional homicide, endangering safety by use of a dangerous weapon, and disorderly conduct while armed. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Grace Hodek. UW Whitewater's athletic director says Kara was an amazing young woman, leader, and teammate. Our Lucas Kim has you covered on how the university is healing and honoring her tonight.
I'm at UW Whitewater's campus, where the Warhawk community is mourning the death of a student athlete who was killed just days before her senior year was supposed to begin.
Right away, you just knew there was so many people that were impacted by Kara's, personality, her leadership, just being a great teammate.
The university's athletic director and assistant chancellor Ryan Callahan says the UW Whitewater community is devastated by Kara's death. Kara was part of the gymnastics team. Callahan says her teammates and staff were in disbelief when hearing the news.
I got to know the team over the last few years, and Kara's been just a huge part of that team. 2023, she was the vault national title. She's been in the rotation every year that she's been there. So from my relationship with her and the rest of the team, it's been very strong.
The 21-year-old college athlete was tragically killed Friday night. Callahan says the city of Whitewater is still investigating the motive and suspect who is currently in custody. He tells me a memorial and vigil for Kara will be on campus sometime this week.
It makes it a lot easier to get through times like these when you have such a supportive community from the student athletes within the team, from the community itself, and other campus areas that are helping out with the grieving process for all of us.
A GoFundMe page has been created by family friends of Welsh for additional financial costs. You can find the link to that GoFundMe on our website. In Whitewater, Lucas Kim, 27 News.
Before, Kara was a part of the UW Whitewater's gymnastics program.
Who killed Kara Walsh, guys? What do y'all think, man? Give me a what you think?
Sun man, about 5'9", maybe 160 pounds. Probably shot her.
Yeah, I'm going.
Tough to say. Probably a hybrid. Half son, half glider with some issues.
This is crazy, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. This girl gymnast gets kids just shot down like that with a man she knew. Just shot her down like a dog in the street. Why haven't they released the killer's identity? People are saying. Yeah, like you got the guy, right? They got the guy in custody.
That means it's a son for sure.
I think that I would say this: it's not a good sign, man.
Well, we know he's not a glider.
And we don't have no pictures of the guy, the 17-year-old that shot the football player yesterday. Wow.
From your breaking news and weather authority, this is 13 WHAM News at 5.
Breaking news, our first look at one of 3 suspects charged in connection with that horrific crash that claimed the life of an innocent bystander during a police chase from Rochester to Brighton. It has been 1 week since that horrific chain of events claimed the life of 92-year-old Thomas Chase. And today, one of the suspects appeared in court. Good afternoon. I'm Matt Malloy.
And I'm Karen Edwards. 19-year-old Theophilus Parks was due for an evidence hearing today, but the judge had a technical issue with video and the matter was adjourned to next Tuesday.
He holding his head up. You know what I'm saying? Salute to Robert, man. He said, happy Labor Day. Dre Wood says, question, do you think the crack era produced all the crack and alcohol babies that today have temper behavior? No, I don't think crack produced none of that shit. I don't think there is a such thing as a crack baby. I think I think you got a fetal alcohol syndrome is worse than a crack baby. I think a crack baby is just a baby that the parents want drugs and they didn't get enough nutrition. I don't think it has anything to do with crack.
Yeah, that South Park episode about crack baby athletes, like there's some like legit crack baby athletes. It's kind of crazy.
I just think that the babies suffer from, the parents not being there, the parents not being on drugs. But I think the son community, sons always was this way, man. Sons was always this way. We just been lied to, man. And then each decade has its different feel. Like in the 70s, I mean, look, it was like 3 channels, man. ABC, NBC, and CBS. That's all you had. They couldn't talk about sun bullshit every day. All day everything had to be on those 3 channels. And then I think you had channel 20, on 54, I guess a couple more channels, but yeah, basically 3 channels. Then you come to the 80s, now you got cable TV and then shit like that. And so now you can talk more shit about, you can expose what's going on with Blakistan even more, movies and shit like that. And then, now you got the internet, so you get to see even more. I think it's just a matter of what you're able to see, what you're exposed to. But I think Sun's always been like this, man.
Parks remains out of custody. He's charged with possession of stolen property. Police say he was a passenger in the stolen Kia that crashed into Thomas Chase's vehicle at East and Elmwood in Brighton last Thursday. Chase died at the scene.
Park's 17-year-old brother, Theodis, was the alleged driver and is charged with murder. Police say they were chasing the suspects at the time, a pursuit which began in the city. RPD says it followed its pursuit policy. Authorities say Theodis Parks has had multiple run-ins with the law.
Investigators say a third
Look at that
suspect.
car. Look what they did to that car, man. I mean, you gotta be like they probably didn't even hit the brake. They just when they drive like that, yeah, they don't care. They like if you in the crosswalk, they'll just mow you down and deal with it later.
19-year-old Trayvon Simmons previously ran from officers and discarded a loaded ghost gun. He's charged with weapons possession.
And all you can get these niggas for some bullshit like weapons possession or some shit like that.
Which is supposed to be like, at least 5-10 years, but they rarely do that.
Nah, so they get no 5-10 years, no weapons.
That's 5-10 years for us, not for
a
drunk kid who ran over and killed someone or
exactly.
selling drugs.
You definitely get 5 or 10 years for that.
For the investigation and has the latest on what led officers to open fire.
25th and Marionberry, usually a busy area Sunday morning. Not this morning, as patrol cars, yellow tape, and investigators swarmed the area.
Shortly after 5:30 a.m., our 7th District officers were called to the McDonald's in this block for a report of a crash.
D.C. Police Chief Pamela Smith was on the scene to discuss what led officers to shoot. She says when officers arrived, they saw a car had hit the side of the building, causing minor damage.
The driver of that vehicle was still inside, however, he was unresponsive. Officers observed a firearm in the driver's possession and called for additional officers to respond to the scene.
A short time later, Smith says the driver began moving inside of the car. Officers then began to engage by telling him to drop the weapon. We asked for clarification.
And then he went to grab the officer's weapon?
What I stated was that he was told to drop his weapon. He had his weapon in his hand. He was told to drop the weapon. Our officers extended their firearm, and the suspect grabbed his weapon at that time.
And that's when officers opened fire, according to police. DC Fire and EMS, already on the scene, responded immediately to help the driver, but he was pronounced dead. None of the officers were hurt.
Now, I did talk to one of the residents that lives in the building across the street from this McDonald's. She didn't want to go on camera, but she told me around 5:30, she did hear multiple shots and actually took cover.
The Internal Affairs and Criminal Investigation Division will work in conjunction to figure out details leading up to this shooting. The case will also be handed over to the U.S. Attorney's Office.
We have recovered the suspect weapon here on the scene. The officers involved did activate their body-worn cameras, and that footage is currently being reviewed.
The 2 officers who fired their weapons have been put on administrative leave as part of the department's policy. In D.C., I'm Jacqueline Quinn, WUSA 9.
Whew. Man, those officers ain't sleeping tonight. I know that much. Salute to everybody out there, man. Great show, man. Hit the like button if you have it on the way out. Same black time, same black channel. Out of here. Peace out.
All right.